Okay guys, this is page 2 of the Honors Unit 3 review packet, so let's get going. Identify the angle relationship name and set up an equation and solve for x. Well, these, because the lines are parallel, we know that our alternate exterior angles are going to be congruent. Well, if they're congruent, that means we can set them equal. So we can say that 14x minus 1 equals 12x plus 17. If you didn't get that as quickly, well, first of all, you need to memorize all of your rules, which alternate exterior angles are congruent. But if you need to, you can also go in and do your dots and your stars. Those are your 4 dots. These would be your 4 stars. All the dots are congruent, all the stars are congruent, and if you have a dot and a star, they're supplementary. Well, these both have dots, they're set equal. So I'm going to subtract 12x onto this side. I'm going to add 1 onto that side, and I get x equals 9. Okay, over here, if I dot and star, you'll notice that one of these has a dot, one has a star. That means they're supplementary, but you should have known that anyways because these are same side interior angles, and same side interior angles are always supplementary, assuming, of course, that our lines are parallel. So we can say that the first angle plus the measure of the second angle is going to equal 180 degrees. Great, so that's going to be 9x minus 90 equals 180. I'm going to add 90 to both sides. I'm going to divide both sides by 9, and I get x equals 30. Well, it's actually smart to check our answers, and we can do it pretty easily by plugging back in. So 5 times 30 is 150. 150 minus 44 is 106. 30 times 4 is 120. 120 minus 46 is 74. So together they add up to 180 like they were supposed to. Fantastic. Okay, C. Ooh, this is a good problem. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I would love for you to do this by yourself. So if you haven't tried, I would really like you to pause the video. So I'm just gonna stop talking for 5 seconds. Go ahead and pause it and give it a try yourself. Okay, if you're back, it means you've tried it, either successfully or not successfully. I'm going to give you one hint and then pause again, so see if this hint makes a difference for you. I'm extending that line straight. So now I have a transversal. So I'm going to pause again, or I'm going to stop talking for a couple seconds. Pause it, and if that helps, see if you can do the problem now. Okay, hopefully you were successful this time, but we're going to keep going now. This transversal, this angle here and this angle here are alternate interior angles. Our lines are parallel. These are on different sides of the transversal, both on the inside. Now that I've done this, we can use what we know about triangles, and we know that the 3 angles on a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if I want to figure out what goes in here, I'm going to take 180 minus 36 minus 31. That's the same as 180 minus a grand total of 67. So that's going to give me an angle in here of, I believe, 113. Right? Well, now it's a lot easier. X and 113 form a linear pair. So we can say x plus 113 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 113 on both sides, and I am left with 67. So the value of x is 67 degrees. Okay, now that we've done that, hopefully that gives you a little more information and ideas how to do this. If you haven't tried this yet, I don't want you to give up. Please pause it and try doing this yourself, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, I hope you've tried this now. Let me give you a couple things that you can do. One thing you want to do is look for any variables that are the same. Notice this has a y and this has a y. And in this case, because these lines here are parallel, and let me highlight with my yellow. Okay, because those things are parallel, here's a transversal. You'll notice those are alternate interior angles. So I can say that 3y minus 11 equals y plus 19. If I solve, I'm going to subtract the y over here. I'm going to add the 11 over there, and I get y equals 15. Okay, so that's one way you can solve for y. Let's see what else we can do. Well, these lines are parallel again. We could use this thing here as another transversal, and you'll notice that x and that 90-degree angle, that right angle, are corresponding angles. So x equals 90 degrees. Okay, we've got a little bit left to do. We need to solve for this angle here. Well, let's do what we did before. These three angles are form a triangle, right? So if that clicked something for you, pause, do this problem yourself, or do this part yourself. If not, let's remember, so this is 15. Y is 15. 15 plus 19 is 34. This thing here is 90. So that means that 34 plus 90 plus 4z plus 2 equals 180. The three angles in a triangle add up to 180. Okay, well that gives me that 4z plus, oh dear, 126 equals 180. 4z equals, I'm going to subtract 126. When I do that, I'm left with 54. I don't think that that's divisible by 4. Oopsies. 54 divided by 4 is 13.5. I just want to make sure. Now, when you get a decimal, it doesn't mean your answer is wrong. A lot of times we have decimals. Decimals are values. But let's just check really fast here. So we've got 15 went in here. So 45 minus 11. 34, yeah, 34, that's good. 34 plus, let's take 90, wait, so 90, 56, 54. Yeah, I think that does look good. So Z equals 13.5. Good, those are our three answers. Okay, we're getting close. The bell's gonna ring in a second, so ignore that. But let's look at E. You'll notice that we have three lines that are all parallel to each other. There's a couple of ways you can do this problem. You can either cover up portions at a time and just look at what you know. Another option is to say, okay, well, let's think about what we do with stars and dots. We know that we essentially only have two values. Everything's either congruent or things are supplementary. If this is 142, because of vertical angles, that's 142. This is going to be 38 because these form linear pairs. That means this thing also has to have a value of 38. Well, since my lines are parallel, if this is 142, by the corresponding angles postulate, that's 142. This is 38, this is 38, and this has to equal 142. Well, again, by the corresponding angles postulate, if this is 142, this thing has to equal 142. This is 38, this is 142, this is 38. So now we can set up some equations. Well, Z is just 142, that was nice. We know that 2y plus 8 equals 38. If I subtract 8 on both sides, I get 2y equals 30, which gives me y equals 15. Okay, 4x plus 6 equals 142. That means 4x equals 136. And 136 divided by 4 is 34. And for those of you in honors, well, it should be all of you watching this video, you need to do long division to do that. A trick would be that, like, I know that 120, 4 goes into 120 30 times. 4 goes into that additional 16 4 times. That's a trick to do it. But there you go. Okay, F says, in a complete sentence, explain what is wrong with the given diagram. Remember, when our lines are parallel, every given set of angles is either congruent or supplementary. So I don't want to do this one for you. I want you guys to try this yourself. But remember, any pair of angles, if our lines are parallel, which they are, should either be congruent or supplementary. See if that gets you going.